Fallout 76's next major update, Once in a Blue Moon, has been live on the player test server for well over a week now, and we have a pretty good idea of what to expect once it goes live in June. One of the new cryptids, the Blue Devil, has just had an interesting update though. It appears as the final boss in the new event Safe and Sound, and it also pops up at random assault encounters. It's pretty aggressive, but does share some similar attacks to the Deathclaw, albeit a lot stronger. After doing some creature testing, it does fare pretty well against other high tier enemies, which we will take a look at in a minute. But it does now have a new feature. It did previously have a unique howl attack that would activate once it received a certain amount of damage, but I only saw this occasionally in previous testing. This has now actually been adjusted with it able to use it at any time. But this howl attack also comes with an additional effect now. Previously unique only to Earl and the Wendigo Colossus enemies, its howl attack causes the uncontrollable fear effect, forcing the player to leg it in the opposite direction. Unlike the Wendigo Colossus, it will also keep moving during the duration of the attack, allowing it to close the distance pretty quickly. Presumably this can also be counteracted with the liquid courage drink available from daily ops, and one of the benefits of the update still undergoing changes is hopefully we will see more adjustments like this come into effect. I'm still holding out hope that we might get some completely new animations too, with the Sheepscotch being a great template to work from. Quite the acrobat, the Sheepscotch will charge the player, ground slam, double back kick, and of course throw its quills, making it one of the more memorable encounters. Perhaps some kind of jump attack would be an interesting addition for the Blue Devil, although in its current form it is a really good addition. It relentlessly pursues the player, which made it pretty easy to initiate some interesting matchups. And speaking of the Sheepscotch, this duel didn't go the way I thought it would. Despite its wide array of attacks, the Blue Devil was resistant to pretty much everything, rarely being staggered and tanking pretty much every attack, finishing it off pretty quickly before turning its attention back to me. On its rampage, it tore through pretty much everything it came into contact with, even briefly tussling with the Scorch Beast. It is interesting that it appears to be immune to the Scorch Plague too. But the big matchup I was eager to initiate, the two new cryptids in a 1v1. The first attempt ended pretty quickly, with the Ogre coming on top against a heavily damaged Blue Devil. Eager to initiate a fair contest, we dragged both to each other a further 2 times. But instead of fighting each other, the pair were more interested in tag teaming us instead. It's the PTS for a reason, and no doubt this will get ironed out before it goes live, and we can find out for certain which of these two cryptids wins in a scrap. Another small change added yesterday relates to the Ogre's unique animation, with entering its shell making it invulnerable to any incoming damage. This too has been adjusted with it able to activate any time. Finishing up today's video, we're taking a look at a bit of a mystery surrounding the origins of the Blue Devil. So there's minor spoilers ahead if you were looking to avoid any added lore in the update, but of the two new cryptids, the most lore hints and notes can be discovered for this creature. In the nearby outhouse located near the Middle Mountain pit stop, you can find a note entitled Investigation Report. Giving it a read, it mentions that they used to breed them way back, first for racing and then for fighting. The details are pretty cryptic, but by the end it's pretty clear, with a mention of dark black hair appearing blue in a certain light, but this is actually referring to the Blue Devil. One word sticks out though, being what appears to be a cipher code, and paired with this note is also another entitled Weird Note, which is all written in the same cipher, and having a look at Clyde's terminal in the rest stop you can find mention of a new and old code. Now this cipher has already been decoded with a post on Reddit detailing what exactly these notes say. I've left a link in the description if you wanted to know ahead of the update releasing, but focusing on the investigation report note, the line bred first for racing and then for fighting. It does remain a mystery still. I did end up going down a bit of a rabbit hole researching which dog breeds fitted that description. Some have already speculated that this refers to the Greyhounds, perhaps the most obvious example of a racing dog. However, it doesn't quite line up with the line about them being bred later for fighting. Greyhounds were incidentally also bred first for hunting. Currently I'm thinking it might be a German Shepherd, originally a sheep herding dog but is now often used for other types of work, including being a police dog and even active warfare. The key for me being the racing line perhaps being a loose reference to the fact that a shepherd dog actually leads sheep from the front, as opposed to a sheep herder which actually drives sheep from the back, essentially racing them back to the pen. Aries' involvement and interest with the Blue Devil, combined with his obsession about the Sheepscotch perhaps signifying a link. But what do you think? I'm very interested to hear people's thoughts about which breed of dog the terrifying Blue Devil might have originated from, and definitely let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this particular video, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. We post a variety of Fallout 76 content, so turning on the bell icon is definitely the best way to stay up to date. We'll be posting more PTS videos covering any further changes, but you can also find videos about all the available rewards and data mines for Season 13, which is slated to release alongside the Once in a Blue Moon update. With that said though, I'm off. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next one.